Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ, to another in-depth, and this time we will be discussing the Synod. I'm Margo Salcedo, Editor-in-Chief of Dominus Est, and joining me is Father Jason Laguerta. Hi, Father Jason.
Hi, Margot, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day for us to talk about something very important happening in the church right now.
Yes, but before anything else, Father Jason, I would like to congratulate you and everyone on our team for our being awarded not just the first of all, the best website award. It's our third best website award from the Catholic Mass Media Awards. Thank you so much, CMMA. It's validation for all of the volunteers because we're purely volunteer run. And Father Jason, yak ako. Tears of joy. We also were given the Saint Pope John Paul II award. And so I just like to take this opportunity to say super thank you to the Catholic Mass Media Awards for this acknowledgement, especially because Saint Pope John Paul is, in fact, the patron saint of our online ministry. So it really means a lot to all of us.
Yeah, the main promoter of new evangelization, which happens to be also what we are trying to propagate and promote in Dominus Est. Congratulations, Margo, and your team.
Our team, Father. Thank you so much. Thank you so much po. So thank you, CMMA, and we hope we are truly fulfilling our purpose. So as we continue to try our best to fulfill this purpose, we're trying to get back on track with our in-depth on the Synod. This is a series that we had started at the beginning of the year, I think, Father, or was it early last year, para po masubaybayan natin yung happenings on the Synod. Just to refresh the memories of everyone, because we haven't had an in-depth in a while. Father Jason, since you are somewhat the expert as well on the Synod, could you just briefly enlighten our audiences once again, what is this Synod?
First of all, I will not claim to be expert in the Synod. And, secondly, but we are, all of us are synodal because we are all part of the church. We are all part of this journey. So in a way, that makes all of us experts in synodality because we are all walking together as a community. So we may refresh our memory by way of going back to 2021, or even as far as back as the church when it was born. That we were born to walk together and not just to walk alone. So Pope Francis started this in 2021, October 2021. Remember, it was launched in the different dioceses, and then there were consultations that happened in the different local churches, BECs, parishes, and then continental, and then Vatican. So that's the long and short of it, this synod and synodality, which they had their first session last October. And that's our topic for this in-depth, Margo and viewers.
Yes, and I remember that our very first episode on the Synod was with our papal nuncio, Archbishop Charles John Brown, and he explained what synodality is, what it means. But today, we have a very special guest. She is someone who was actually a delegate at the Synod. So she actually went to Rome and was there in the hall, Pope Paul VI Hall, with Pope Francis himself. And most importantly, she was the lone Filipina delegate, meaning she was the only woman and she was the only lay person who was part of the Philippine delegation to the Synod. So without further ado, Father Jason is our guest, Dr. Estela Padilla.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
And Father Jason, we're in the midst of a very intellectual and dedicated woman, because I just also found out that she is, in fact, the executive director of the Theological Commission, tama po ba, ma'am, of the Federation of Asian Bishops Conference. So, Father, hindi lang Philippines, but the entire Asia. And she was also a part of the Theological Commission for the entire synod before she became a delegate. Oh,
Oh my. Awesome, awesome. And of course, she's part of the well-known group Bukal ng Tipan here in the country, facilitating and promoting the basic ecclesial communities, helping dioceses, local churches in their formation. Yeah. Welcome, Dr. Stella.
Salamat po. It's my pleasure to be here. Really.
Ma'am, so medyo starstruck ako because as a lay woman, you are so inspiring to all of us, and you are such an example of how we can also participate in the church, and not in a small way. So thank you for that, and we're all so proud of you. And siguro we can start with what your experience with Pope Francis. how was that in Rome, when October 4 to 29, ang haba po nun, tapos everyday kasama niyo po.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we were together from September 30. Kasi it was the ecumenical gathering. Tapos, 3-day retreat. And then the synod. So, mahaba-haba ang preparation. And Pope Francis, syempre nakaka-starstruck. How would I describe him? He's such an engaging personality. No? So you see him always in a wheelchair, di ba? Pero actually, very strong siya. No, very strong. He's on a wheelchair because of his knees, but not because he's weak. So has a very engaged, very active. And of all the people who greet him, kami sa synod, so he's there. And then we try to, greet him during coffee breaks. Kaya, and syempre, he's attending the synod also, but during the 20-minute coffee break, ang kahaba ng pila. No? Yeah. And he has his smile for you. He has just this smile for you. Pero alam mo, parang kalmante siya o smiling siya. Pero alam mo, napakatinik ng utak niya. No? Right, of course, siguro you knew or don't want to jump the gun, pero maraming conflicts doon sa synod, basically on how we understand church or how we understand church teaching. Kaya right after the synod, he came up with a motto proprio, no, on how we should do theology. No? So paalala sa aming lahat ngayon na ang theology is not just the formal one, but the one coming from the experiences of people. No? So magaling siya talaga. Every step of the way, he knew how to lead.
Very pastoral.
Very pastoral, and yeah.
Did he speak in Spanish?
Actually, he understands English. Pero halimbawa, Bishop Ambo speaks Spanish. So mas parang makwento siya kay Bishop Ambo. Pero pag sa amin, pa isa-isang word lang, English speaking. Pero he understands. He really understands.
Yeah, without preempting Dr. Padilla, Dr. Stella, the proceedings of the synod itself. I think there is some sort of embargo muna for all the things you have talked about in the synod. But what was your impression aside from Pope Francis overall? What was it like to be there for around a month, more than a month, with everybody?
Very interesting kasi, alam ng mga process people, the methodology people, the experts on methodology. Now, what we are going to bring home will be our experience. No, it's not the document, it's not the synthesis report, but what we're going to talk about and what will remain with us in our bodies is the experience of friendship. No, napakalaki nun kasi you're dealing with such a diverse group of people. No, so parang na-appreciate ko talaga yung diversity. Sasabihin ng isa when we are talking, but that is not the way we do it in Russia. No? Ay, syempre naman that's also not the way we do it in the whatever, no, in India. And then nung minsan, isang church leader, every 3-4 days we change groups, no? Kasi the life is in the small groups. The prayer, the discussion, the decision making is in the small groups. So every 4 days. Yung isang grupo, pasukan pa lang kami, nakita ng isang church leader, hindi ko na sasabihin kung obispo o kardinal o ano man, nakita niya yung katabi niya. Sabi niya, I don't want to sit beside this person. No, parehong media personality itong dalawang to, no? So that means magkaiba sila ng stand, on the particular topic that we're discussing. So that's how different we are.
But
Pero
at least,
ang matitira sa'yo is how we are able to pray together and decide together. Kung di kami mag-consensus, hindi mailalagay yung opinion namin doon sa report. So every issue, we need a consensus. If ang naging boto nyo 8-4-2 against, that's a lesser value. Now, only those statements that made the consensus will make it to the synthesis report. So matindi yung experience na samahan. The community experience there is what you bring home talaga.
Yeah.
But then, so may voting po pala. So for every small group, there would be voting. And then, kung sino po yung manalo sa voting, that's what would make it to the Synod report only. Or may notes din po doon of the
voting is on the last part. The voting is on the last part. When we had to finalize the synthesis report, at doon ang voting. No? So, I think the voting will be made public, pero nabasa nyo na siguro na ang pinakamalalaking no votes had to do with the issues on women. No? Specifically, kung papayagan ang women deacons. So, yan ang pinakamataas na no vote, pero 67 lang yun. You need about 100 to take out that sentence in the synthesis report.
Actually, I was very curious about how the topics were chosen. Kasi parang ang random ng topics, sobrang dami. But like, how are those topics even bullet points, or how did you even come up with like, ito yung mga top 10 natin?
Mahaba yung proseso na yan, no? Paano nagkaroon ng ganung issues at the instrumentum laboris? How did we come up with that, right? Sa parang napakaraming bullet points.
Also, ma'am, because, di ba sabi niyo po diversity, so the issues that are most relevant to the Philippines might not necessarily be what's relevant in the United States or in other countries around the world.
Dalawang very important yung questions mo. How did the points come out? And paano yung application yan? Iba-iba naman. So, 2 questions, 2 answers, but very important. The whole consultation process was a circular dialogue. Before coming up with the instrumentum laboris, so there was a set of questions coming from the Secretariat, General Secretariat. That was the one that we consulted people about noong 2021, right? So all the results from the dioceses, parishes, dioceses became a national report. The national report was forwarded to Rome, 121 countries. 20 theologians, 2 weeks praying and discerning, summarized the report. So nung sinamarize yan, ang tawag dyan, document for the continental synod. So that means all the national reports will be reflected on at the continental level. So sinamarize siya universally, globally, at the continental level. Bago mag-continental level synod, pinasa ulit sa local churches, baba sa dioceses ulit, hanggang magkaroon ng national feedback to the document for the continental synod. So bago mag-continental synod, handa na ang document ng mga countries ng continent. Nung nag-usap-usap na, discerning din yan, nasa team ako niyan, we came up with a continental report as a feedback to the continent. Pinagsama-sama lahat ng continental reports. This is very interesting. 7 continental groupings, 1 instrumentum laboris. So gusto ko lang sabihin na lahat ng lumabas sa continental reports, doon nang galing ang issues na nakita mo sa instrumentum laboris. It didn't come out because some theologians thought it is an important issue. Yeah. No, it didn't. So coming yan lahat from all the consultations, right? So pagdating doon, the synod is looking for universally valid teachings. Di ba? Maski iba-ibang bansa tayo, merong specific teachings ang Katolikong simbahan, maski saan ka nang galing. Pero, ang mga conferences, that means yung mga bansa, the bishops' conferences, more and more gustong bigyan ng authority ng Pope to decide at the local level. No? Naglabas din siya ng motto proprio dyan. Napakarami niyang motto proprio si Pope. At gusto niya mas malakas ang authority ng local bishops. Kasi nga, yung mga universally valid actually have very different local or contextual applications. Huh?
Yeah.
So, very
Yeah,
participatory. Yeah.
Ang concern ko is,
how did they do
Yeah.
it? So, like per table, you discussed one topic, or everyone discussed all of the topics?
You have to choose.
yeah.
So before we arrived there, we chose already what topics we have to discuss and what language are we using. So everyone is encouraged to have a second language para you can meet with the Latin American people and the French people. Like Bishop Ambo speaks French. Para puro advertisement ako kay Bishop Ambo. No? So marami siyang second language. No? So para ma-meet mo rin yung iba. Otherwise, pag English, actually English ang pinakamarami kasi a lot of like the Spanish and the French, they will also speak English. So you are together with people who are interested in the same question.
So you had to submit po before na these are the topics that I would like to focus on.
Oo.
And then
Tapos sa small group, very strict yan. Ano? You have your own computer, you have your own ID. So kasi kapag when I want to make an intervention, hindi dapat malaman ng mga tao na sa akin galing yun. Kasi baka pag galing siya kay Cardinal Blanc, magiging influential siya. No? So yung boto ko din, ako lang ang nakakaalam. So yung meron kang sariling computer, and that is where you get a lot of things.
So Dr. Stella, parang ang process, of course, again, I don't want to pry too much into the internal operations. Pero yung process, walang magsusway na influencer. Halimbawa, kang kasama mo sa table, Cardinal, and of course, ano ka, di ba, ma-starstruck ka. So kung ano sasabihin niya, yun na yung susundin ng mga tao. Pero hindi pala ganon. Parang
actually, first name basis kami. I only knew, so when we introduce ourselves to one another, first name, like, may ID, pero sino ba ang titigil sa ID? No? I wouldn't know kung sino ang Cardinal. Actually, yung isang katabi ko, nagkasundo kami, kaaway namin yung ilang mga tao sa group. Ang tawag sa kanya, Robert, Stella, Robert, I agree with you, ganyan. Yung pala siya si Cardinal, Robert
Barron?
Hindi si Robert Barron, Robert McElroy ng US. Yeah. Oo, isa doon. Marami kang katabing Cardinal na you wouldn't know na Cardinal.
Sila nakahat. Para
hindi kami nakadress. Nakikita niyo yung damit, ano lang yun, siguro ni-require lang yun nung opening, nung closing, nung picture taking. Otherwise, people are in a very, So you wouldn't know. Tapos first name basis, para hindi rin ganon influence.
So ayan po kamukha nung nakikita natin ngayon sa screen. So pag ganyan parang, Joe, hindi siya Cardinal.
Ayan, exactly. Hindi mo lang.
Interesting, no? Fascinating. I read a write-up about the synod na sabi ng writer na the summary of the whole synod, sabi niya, is in one interaction between, well, ang sabi ay, Cardinal, shut up. Parang stop, let the lady speak before you, parang gayon daw yung summary ng synod. Parang somebody telling a Cardinal, please stop. Let the lady speak. Something like that. So, really the listening part to everybody.
Oo, matindi. We follow the conversation in the spirit. It's a very prayerful sharing tool, no? Prayerful sharing method, conversation in the spirit. Everyone, first 3 rounds yun. First round, everyone can speak lang for 3 minutes. So if this is the issue, whatever issue it is, meron ka nang sasabihin ng 3 minutes. Tapos, every 4 people, tahimik lang para makapakinig, hindi sabay. Then 4 people more. 12 usually ang group set. Kasi isang group, usually 2 ang babae. So, pagkatapos ng first round, 3 minutes silence. Yung second round, what struck you with what somebody said on the first round? Kasi you want to move from I to we. So, hindi na adding on to what you said, but what struck you with what others have said. No? So, 3 minutes ulit yan. Nakatime yan, tumutunog yung timer ng facilitator. We have expert facilitators in the group para maiwasan din ang dominating attitude or whatever. 3 minutes din yan, nag-twang, and then nakakahiya if you have to move forward. Second round, and then silence ulit. Third round, what is the Spirit saying to our group? So it cannot be your opinion, di ba? You need to be in a prayerful state. What is the Spirit saying to our group? That does not mean we agree, no? Pero it tells you, it's a very prayerful method. Bago kami, so the small groups, yan ang pinaka-importante. Pero bago namin isubmit ang small groups, kasi that is what we'll get in, that is our opinion, right? Meron munang 2 session ng free interventions. Ang laki nito, 3 minutes na 3 hours. So many people can speak at that time. So free interventions, anyone can speak, basta mauna ka, papasok ka dun sa sarili mong computer and they will see your number. Only after the free interventions, we have another session to make the small group report, the final small group report. So nakainig ka na. So usually, yung aming initial reflection, na i-enrich yan pang free interventions. Kasi ang dami pa mo palang hindi nakikita. No? And then we have another round of sharing and then produce the small group report. Ganyan ka-tedious, no? That's why we're working from Monday to Saturday. Sa dami ba naman yung i-discuss?
Did you feel that the Holy Spirit was really there as you were discerning on every issue?
We started with the retreat. Sabi nila, first time daw ito nangyari sa Synod. It's the first Synod that started with a 3-day retreat. So doon pa lang, talagang we really pray. Tapos lahat ng Bible sharing namin, gumamit na rin yung same method. So na-prepare ka. Sa Asia, ginagamit na natin itong method na ito. Pero for a lot of people in the other parts of the world, hindi nila ginagamit. No? So sa retreat pa lang, ang Bible sharing namin, using na the same method. So you kind of train yourself, no? A spiritual discipline. Tapos doon sa Synod session itself, maraming prayers, may special prayers sa gabi. When we pray sa St. Peter's, sa amin lang yung St. Peter's, walang ibang tao, no? So very quiet. Pati ako, first time ko lang makita ang St. Peter's without people, no? For the evening prayers, no? So it's a beautiful time of praying also. So I believe the Spirit is really there. Kaya nga, dati hindi kami agree sa media silence, no? Parang hindi ka lang magtatagumpay with media silence. They'll just tell whatever they want to say. Pero, as we started the Synod, we felt the need to be silent talaga. We don't want any disturbance. Kasi it's so difficult to listen, to think, to pray, and na it's not simple. What you're doing is not simple, no? So many expectations and para rin sa sarili mo coming from a local church. Yeah. So I really believe the Spirit is there.
Wow.
Ma'am, there were 50, parang equal na yung number of cardinals and bishops versus the lay. Parang 50-50 po ba? Which is also a first? Or hindi naman?
No. Ang participants na Synod is about 400. 70 lang ang non-bishops. So about...
Because it's still a Synod of bishops.
Yeah. It has to be canonical eh. So, ang daming, nung first part, we wanted to rename ourselves. No, imbes na 16 General Assembly of the Synod of Bishops, ang daming comments na gawin natin First General Assembly of the People of God. Magkakaroon yan ng canonical implications kasi the Synod of Bishops votes deliberately. So it's a deliberative voting, it's not a consultative voting, right? Pero syempre, consultative pa rin yung sa Pope. Pero the bishops themselves have to vote to agree on something and then they present their discernment to the Pope. So ngayon, if we change the name, mawawala, you need to another canonical, change or ipapasok ng Pope para magkaroon ng voting rights ang non-bishops. So it has to be the Synod of Bishops para deliberative ang voting. So malinaw, hindi siya consultative.
There was voting po. I thought you were a voting delegate.
Yeah, oo. So, oo. Voting delegate kami. So 70 people who were non-bishops, negative yung term, pero so you are not a bishop, you can vote. Yun ang novelty sa Synod na ito.
Yeah. It's a significant change. Yeah, it has never happened.
Ang tingin ko, governance function ng Synod, it's a leadership function, right? So, yung mga bishops gather to talk about issues in the church and they come up with universally valid teaching. right? Tapos the Pope can decide on his own as supreme authority, pero dinesisyonan niya rin na merong episcopal collegiality. Sama-sama silang magdi-decision as bishops. Pero siya ang final decision, primacy of the Pope. Para isama mo ang laiko with a deliberative babae, no? 70 non-bishops. That means babae, madre, pare. Hindi sila bishops. So ang babae lang doon, hindi rin madami. 70 lang ang non-bishops, isama mo pa ang pare. So baka sinigurado ng Pope na of the 70, 35 will be women. So sa 70 non-bishops, 50% ang women.
Yeah, pero hindi mo rin alam. Are you in this photo, ma'am, of all of some of the
women?
Nagkaroon ng meeting ang women. Nakakatawa, no? This is very interesting. The women decided to have a meeting. So yung mga tao, up na ang tentacles. My God, what will they meet about? Will they ask for more power, etc.?
Oh, may kudeta. May kudeta.
Pinag-usapan namin at pinagkasunduan, we want to reach out sa lahat ng babae, daughters, sisters ng giyera. You know, just to tell you that there are issues bigger than magdidikon ba ang babae or more. You know, these are legitimate issues, pero as babae, that's what we agreed on. You know, we want to come up with a solidarity statement to the women and sisters and daughters who are suffering sa war sa Israel, di ba? So, nakakatawa yan. But in the end, nakakatawa. We're not saying naman kung ano yung pinag-usapan namin. Ano? Pero parang, what? You'll come up with their own statement? Di naman nila alam kung anong statement. No? But in the end, we decided not to come up with our own statement. Kasi mag-i-statement ang Synod of Bishops. So we don't want to. Pero nung nalaman nilang tungkol sa gera, masaya sila. Pero
there was a woman na parang Asian na Japanese that
si Momo ko.
Yeah, is she your friend? Could you tell us about her? Kasi pinakita yung how she bonded with Pope Francis over a drink.
Oo, si Momo ko is a religious sister. Tapos she's a member of the Asian Synod team. So kasama ko siya sa Asian Synod Task Force. So she's a religious sister. Tapos she was chosen as one of the presidents. No, so kada continent may ma-choose na president. Kasi the Pope is the president, right? Pero merong nagpe-preside over the Synod sessions. So first time din na may babae nag-preside. So doon sa 7, 2 ang babae, isang Latina, tapos isa si Momoko. Kaya they share the drink kasi Momoko is Spanish speaking. She lived in Argentina for 8 years. Tapos 3 taon dito sa Pilipinas, in Pangasinan, kasi yung kamadrihan nila merong ministry dito.
Here
sa Argentina, 4 na taon siya or 3. Sa Argentina, they have this drink, mate. And it's a communal drink, you know. Parang dito rin sa Pinas, you have one drink and everyone sips from the same straw. So, palitan sila ng palitan ni Pope na nagpe-preside siya. So, siya muna.
Oh my God! Kasi yung straw na ininuman mo, magiging relic yun.
Pinasa mo yun. Parang sa mga indigenous peoples natin, right? Di ba pag uminom sila coming only from the same, tapos pasa ng pasa.
Right.
Kasi maski nung pinasa yun sa amin, ando doon yung mga obispo at mga kardinal, parang pati ako naiilang no? Pero yun talaga yun. So, ganyanan sila ng ganyanan ng Papa.
Hindi yata kaya inuman yun.
Ang dami pang Argentinian mate ng Papa. Pinapadala siguro sa kanya. Binigay niya pa kaya.
Yeah. That's really synodality, na parang...
synodal drink talaga yun. Nakakatawa nga kasi nung minsan, pinahanap ng Pope si Momoko. Hala, pati yung mga Swiss guards, sinahanap si Momoko, ang mga Asian, sinahanap si Momoko. Yung pala para bigyan ng mate.
Oh, that's so cute.
Nakakatawa.
Grabe yung bonding po nila talaga. Ang
Kayo, Dr. Stella, did you have any bonding moment with the Holy Father? I think yung gumawa ka ng intervention mo, talagang na-shock everybody. By the way, dito sa Dominus Est, we showed it, no? Dr. Stella, yung
nakakagulat
intervention.
Nakakagulat yung intervention na yan kasi we are only online live mga 4 times during the session. Parati naman nila live yung prayer, right? Pero yung session itself hindi yan nila live.
Yeah.
So live lang yung prayer every day. Yung session naka-off from the media. Pero every time you open a topic, that is 4 times, 4 topics kasi, ila-live yan. Tapos pipili ng mga magwi-witness. So, nung malapit nang i-open yung final topic on authority, leadership and authority. Sinabihan ako, asan yung ano mo, itatranslate na natin. Ang alin mo? Yung sasabihin mo, it needs to be translated. Ako ho? Oo. Hindi ba sinabi sa'yo 3 days ago? No one approached me. In short, minadali ko yan habang nag-ismo ako. Sinabit for translation. Ayan, ganyan, nakakatawa nga. Tapos, yeah.
But in a nutshell po, for those who were not able to hear it, ano po yung intervention ninyo? It was quite long, mga parang 10 minutes po siya, di ba?
10 minutes. We were given 10 minutes. Tapos ang topic ay leadership, authority, and governance. So I was asked to share about the Asian Synod experience kasi na-stuck sila. Kasi ang topic ng document for the Continental Synod, expand your tent, right? Widen the space of your tent. Para sa Asians, hindi namin gusto yung symbol. Kasi parang inclusive pa rin yung symbol eh. Come inside the tent. Parang gano'n, ano? So sa amin, remove your shoes and join in people's tents. You know, join other people in their tents. That's why yung sa Asian level, ang mas gusto namin, removing your shoes. Something
you were relating
really
a story there, Stella, no? A story with your encounter with a mother, something. Can you share that story again in a very...
One of the consultations, there was a single mother who was speaking, Singaporean, Asian ano to. Ang sabi niya, sama ng loob niya, every time the church calls them, describes them as broken family. Broken family. Sabi niya, I have 2 kids, I brought them up well, I think we're happy, I think we are, I work for the well-being of my kids and our family. But people still define us as a broken family, you know? And yeah, it pains her out. So from then on, I don't want to use that word anymore. No, we keep labeling people. Yun siguro yung synodality. The listening converts you. Hindi lang listening, you listen everywhere. But the listening converts you. No? Like doon sa synod, all these people na iba-iba opinion, I want to judge them. You know, napaka-traditional naman itong obispo na to. But then you realize every opinion is an experience, no? They're coming from a particular context. Kaya sila ganun. No? Kasi meron silang pinanggalingang karanasan. And that one, I think, is also a big conversion for me. It's not about traditional and progressive, no? And it's not about, my God, pag natalo yung pinaglalaban namin, my God, babagsak ang simbahan, no? And then you realize na it is really the walking together. I think that's what synodality is all about. Kasi back home, here, ang dami rin may diverse opinion, di ba? Tsaka di tayo talaga magkakapareho. Pero how do you walk together?
Yeah.
And be comfortable with the conflict, with the tension, with the unknowing. Be comfortable with that. But pray about that.
Speaking of listening, so baka po you could share the other delegates were there also. So I remember Cardinal Advincula because of Audiam, and sabi niyo nga po yung, I love that line of yours, ma'am, yung listening converts you. And so sino pa po yung kasama niyo doon? For our audience, our audience members who might not have been following the synod, who were the other Filipino delegates who were with you in Rome?
So the president and vice president of the Bishops' Conference, no? So Bishop Pablo David and Bishop Milo Vergara. Tapos cardinals. All cardinals are invited. And then, president and vice president, I think. But others, I think, ina-appoint din. Kasi malalaking bansa like the US, mas marami silang kasama. So they can have more people.
Yeah.
Vedo could have also participated.
Dapat pwede siya, no? Ano kaya may limit? I did check that. Alam ko basta cardinal were invited.
And did you encounter Cardinal Chito?
Yeah.
Oo.
But syempre, Roman Curia na siya.
Oo. At saka actually, maraming comments sa Roman Curia, hindi daw sila synodal. Yan sa grupo na yan, oops! Nandiyan dyan yung ayaw magtabi. No? And then sabi ni Cardinal, ang mga Pilipino talaga, mababait talaga, no? Ang unang sinasabi ng Cardinal, I don't wanna sit beside us.
Oh my God!
Sabi ni Cardinal, palit po tayo, mababait talaga yung Pilipino. Palit po tayo ng silya. And then, hindi pa na pwede magpalit ng silya. That's how I learned that it's a security, you know, you need to sit there because your computer is there and only your ID can open that computer. So,
Right.
yung only your QR code, hindi pwede magpalit. We were told na we cannot exchange. So, umalis si church leader, hindi nag-attend. Yung mga katabi, sabi nung isa, oh, but we're supposed to sit with sinners. So, sabi nung isa namin kasama, we're supposed to sit with sinners.
Kasi sinners.
We can sit with, sabi na the Bible said we can sit with sinners, sabi ganyan. No? So, it's a serious disagreement. They're on opposite sides of one issue.
Parang kilala ko na yan. Nagsisisan talaga.
LGBTQ yung issue, opposite sides sila. And then, but it also tells you na medyo, you know, when this other person said, but the blank, you can sit with sinners. Nagtawa ng kaming lahat. So, medyo ganun ang atmosphere. You know, a little informal, very, very kind of equal yung the way we listen to one another.
Yeah.
And then moving forward po, so now there's a synodal report, and then there's going to be, what's next? Are you going to go back to the local level, or
definitely?
Ano po yung journey towards 2024?
So 2024 is a decision making, right? Full pa kami ngayon eh. Ang daming hindi pinag-agrihan, ang daming some things na you feel, wow, nagsinod pa tayo ng isang buwan. Ganyan lang ang statement natin, no? Ganyan lang ang inabot ng discussion natin pagkababa. So sa 2024, it will have to be resolved, right? Pero who will decide? So ibabalik ulit sa local churches. By next week, first week of December, out na ang instructions on how to consult the local churches on the matters for consideration. So yung synod report, merong convergences. That means we all agreed on that. Tapos merong dalawang aspects that we did not agree on. Ang tawag sa isa, matters for consideration or divergences. At yung isa ay proposals. So hindi pa yun ano. So malalaking proposal, for example, canon law, no? There will be an intercontinental meeting of theologians and canon lawyers kasi mainit ang discussion sa canon law, no?
Yeah.
Kasi whatever change you propose is not just about welcoming, you know, it has to deal with church teaching. So magkakaroon ng intercontinental meeting. That is a proposal, right? And the other one is a matter for consideration like LGBTQ, women deacons, etc. Lahat yan bababa sa local churches. Tapos, we're supposed to make a national report. I doubt kung makakaabot sa continental level. It might have to be national, that means local churches, up to the General Secretariat. So, matindi rin ang magiging summary yan. No?
Yeah.
But the topics
that means
have been identified.
Lahat ng matters for consideration, lahat ng mga hindi namin napagkasunduan, yung mga hindi divergences. So sino magre-resolve nun? We want to listen again to the local churches. So when we go back there next year, we are not just coming with our own opinion at ang iyong background. You're coming from the report of your country, no, on the things that the synod, first session of the synod, hindi nila ma-decision, hindi siya convergence.
Meaning, magkakaroon ulit ng mga synodal consultations sa mga local churches?
Yeah.
Using the points for matter for consideration.
Using that. No? So, it's a very, very participatory. Wala kang masasabi sa methodology. Kaya nga sa akin, if the Pope is doing this whole process for decision-making, wala na pwedeng maghari-harian. Sorry Wala na pwedeng decision-making na top-down. You know, the Pope na, can you imagine? 4 years, how much time and resources, you know, to make a teaching of the church. So, hindi na pwede yung mga napaka-dominating leadership, yun na lumabas sa national report natin. We do not discern, we do not consult, napaka-hierarchical or dominating leadership, no, and decision-making. Ako, I would like to say, hindi na pwede yun, no? Dapat sabihin natin, hindi na pwede yun. We really need to listen and consult. Ito nga, dali-dali na lang sana eh.
Oo. I think, Dr. Stella, yung minomodel ni Pope is really not the outcome, no? But the
process.
More on the... Ito yung mga dapat pinipick up na ng mga pare and bishop, no? The
honestly,
bishops should already be picking up the way Pope Francis is doing the...
Honestly, yung mga tao looking for hot button topics, ako tinignan ko lahat ng proposals na may kinalaman sa decision making and increasing structures of participation. Kasi mataas din ang no vote dun. So ibig sabihin issue yun sa mga bishops.
Yeah.
Pero hindi rin siya natanggal kasi nga you need 1/3 vote para matanggal yung statement na yun dyan. But
Yun yung women power siguro.
yun ang talagang tawag mo dito, the voice of the people of God. No? Yung structures for participation.
What do you mean natanggal? Meaning hindi na siya issue na i-decide?
Hindi. So for example, the statement said, we need to increase assemblies of the people of God. No? So yung conferences, wag lang sila mag-meeting as bishops, but meet as people of God. So structure of participation. Halimbawa, more authority to the conferences to decide on local issues, structure of participation yan. So lahat ng merong proposal for structures of participation naka-receive ng malaking no vote. You know? Kasi yung media kasi tinitignan lang yung women, LGBTQ, pero ito ang power. You know? This is really the what it means to be church. So, naka-receive siya ng maraming no vote, but not enough to remove that sentence on the synthesis report.
So, ma'am, let me understand. So, there were issues that have been decided on. Tapos yung mga hindi pa na-decide, yun po yung babalik sa local level?
Yung hindi kami nag-agree. Matters for consideration.
Matters for consideration. So, it was not dropped altogether, but now becoming a matter.
Very simple. Halimbawa, a more role for decision-making ng mga kababaihan. Convergence yan. Ang matters for consideration, opening the diaconate, the permanent diaconate for women.
So, even in the selection of bishops, di ba? Parang ganun. The selection of bishops.
Pati sa tribunal, dapat merong babae o mag-asawa sa tribunals.
Tribunal.
Kasi puro mga pari lang yan, puro canon lawyers, di ba? So, yun, proposal yun. So, hindi yun convergence. No? Ang convergence, more role for women in the decision-making. Yan, convergence.
Okay.
Wow. So, before we end, because I know that you have another meeting, just before we wrap up, siguro po, since you were the only female delegate, baka po we can zone in on that, the topic of women, and siguro po if you could just share with us kung ano po yung mga wins for the women in terms of the Catholic Church na decide po at the synod. Ang haba.
Sa akin ay mahalaga yung participation ng babae, nanay, sa lahat ng levels, no? Yun ang kaya nga ako tinitingnan ko hindi yung will the church open up to women diaconate. Kaya nga tinitingnan ko, are we open to widening structures of participation? Kasi doon ang pasok ng babae o lalaki o sino man, no? Doon sa structures of participation kasi ino-open up mo yung levels of leadership and decision making to women, no? So sa akin, pag-iisipin natin ang kababaihan, sa akin din, isipin natin yung mas malaking issue ng participation lalo na sa decision making. So malaking bagay yung having more roles for women in decision making, putting women or couples in church tribunals, women canon lawyers, for example. So there's another view of canon law coming from women. So dalawa dun sa canon lawyers ng Theological Commission ay babae. Palagay ko isa ay nanay, not too sure. So, yun ang win. Leadership roles, greater leadership roles for women. Tapos sa akin din, to recognize, hindi lang diaconate for women, I don't see any theological problem there. Kaya lang, if you focus ministry on one person, lalaki man yan o babae, nawawala yung ministries happening at the grassroots level. No, kasi sa BEC, karami-raming ministries of daily life already happening and that is not recognized, no? Or commissioned for that matter. So, hindi ako masyado nagpo-focus doon sa mga single ministries. No? Of course, they are a vocation in the church, priesthood, diaconate, babae, lalaki. Yung community ministries na nangyayari lalo na sa basic ecclesial communities, yan ang mas gusto kong i-recognize. Nasa ano nga pala yun? Nasa proposal.
Yun ang game changer, I believe. Yun ang game changer. Yung grassroots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Wow. A whole other intervention from you, ma'am. from Dr. Pate. So we look forward to continuing this journey.
Yes.
My best takeaway here is I love what you said, yung listening leading to conversion. And we hope that everyone can continue to listen, leading to their conversion. Father Jason, any final words before we wrap this up?
Totoo yan. From conversation to conversion. Yan ang the movement really of synodality. And Margot, no? And dear Dominus as viewers, you are so privileged. We are so privileged to have Dr. Stella Padilla to be with us in this program. Kasi nga po, she's right there at the heart of everything, you know? And especially because she's not so-called in the inner circle. She is from quote-unquote periphery. And now she's in the center, and now moving back to the periphery again, for the lack of better term, para yung circularity doon ko nakikita yung circularity from the center to the side and the side. Ang ganda nung sinabi ni ito favorite Dr. Stella ni Margot, si Timothy Radcliffe.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much.
Pinanood na lahat talaga ng yung sinasabi niya yung imagery ng center and periphery, they're just one continuum. Hindi yan parang different dimensions, no? So we feed on each other, so to speak.
Si Father Tim, hindi pa nakakapunta ng Pilipinas. Next clergy retreat, sabi ko sa kanya. No, kasi he lives in the same place as where I'm living.
Ay, nako, may isang alit dyan na pupuntahan talaga.
Like, ma'am, inisa-isa ko po talaga lahat ng yung retreat niya, yung 7. So to our viewers, if you would, there was a retreat before the synod started last October, and there were reflections that were given by Father Timothy Radcliffe, who was the master of the Order of Preachers prior to our very own Father Gerard Timoner. And he just gave this amazing series of recollections. It's all on YouTube. So just search it and listen to it. It's very fulfilling.
Amen.
A little advertisement. She had a woman partner. Kaya lang she speaks Italian, pero she is amazing. Madre Angelini, she's not translated. She's translated for us, but not in the YouTube. She's terrible. The way she strings the word of God, parang you see all the roots. I really, really love her. Madre Angelini. She's a scriptures person. Ang galing-galing.
May mag-translate ng kanyang mga rin?
Yun nga nire-request namin. She's a poet. She's difficult to translate nga . And then I suddenly realized she speaks in a different language, and I began to understand her.
Wow, human power.
Yeah.
Invite niyo po siya dito para umabot naman dito sa Pilipinas. Yeah. Okay, so that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Padilla.
Thank you.
And we hope to have you again. So
yes, please. Yes.
Updates on the synod. And that's a wrap. That's our in-depth for today. Thank you very much. I'm Margot Salcedo and Father Jason.
And thank you for watching us.
Thank you po.